First tonight, the Derelict hospital described as one of the worst cases of public sector neglect in Britain.
In many parts of the country, there are so many buildings left disused and in disrepair that a lot of local councils employ their own empty property officers. They're tasked with the job of tracking down the owners and hopefully rescuing these buildings from ruin.
Disrepair.
Derelict northern junk buildings in downtown Victoria have changed hands and they'll soon be taking on a new life. A Vancouver developer has had his eye on the property since the spring and says he is now ready to turn that old derelict site into a vibrant new part of downtown.
Derelict era.
Business reporter Astrid Branchman has more.
From across the harbour, the northern junk buildings look like, well, junk. But Vancouver developer John Stovall sees something else.
Junk buildings.
It's rich past.
So sweet and small and kind of, perfect.
Derelict properties.
Hi, my name's Sarah and I've lived in Hackney for 18 years. It's very vibrant and very noisy. It's a great place to live, quite loads of bargains, and it's quite crowded. There's loads of people from different communities and there's like about 100 languages spoken at once. So it's a very interesting place to live.
Okay. Do you know any derelict buildings in Hackney which have been reused and given new life?
So in Hackney Station there used to be a cafe and that was quite empty for quite a long time. And then what they did was, I don't know who took over, but they made it into like a little exhibition centre. So they have art hanging and you can go in and they're able to, it's quite nice actually. But before it was a bit of a mess, like empty.
What do you know about the Printworks building?
I know that it was the old Arcola Street Theatre, and that was there for quite a lot of the time. They used to have quite a few events there. Actually, that's all I know about it. I know that it's been reused quite a few times, but I don't know before.
Okay. How do you feel about older buildings? Do you feel they should be reused or knocked down and developed?
Oh no, I feel they should be reused because the great thing about Hackney is they have such pretty buildings, and like you can tell that they took time and they're there because they're meant to be there for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they should be reused. I mean, you can always change the inside of something, but just keep the outside.
Yeah, I mean it gives a sense of the history of the place, doesn't it?
Hi, I'm Sean O'Brien and I lived in Little House in Hackney, London Fields, from July to September, or June to September of 2009.
Why did you move into Little House?
I moved into Little House because I was part of a scheme called Camelot, and I previously been at a different property, an old vacant old people's home, and it had come to an end, so we'd had to move on, and that seemed to be the best place to go next.
Okay, and what was the purpose of the scheme?
The scheme was, the Camelot property scheme was an idea so that a redundant or a neglected building that wasn't used for anything, we would inhabit it and be like security guards, and it would provide us with somewhere to live, so we'd have like cheap rent, but also the property would be occupied, so that it would reduce the risk of vandalism or like arson or anything like that.
what ongoing changes were happening at the time before you left?
When we left, the reason why we left was because the building was being taken over or been bought or something by an arts collective who I think run it now, at offices and stuff. And that was what was happening. They were using it kind of as, they were doing some kind of like amateur films in there and using it as kind of the large spaces you could use as galleries.
Okay.